Good afternoon, good morning, good night, whenever you are viewing this. I hope everybody is having an amazing day. It is the one, the only, Cappy D. Barra. We are here with another wrestling review. This is for AEW Dynamite, July 23rd, 2025. I hope everyone is having a solid day. I actually caught a little bit of this program. Don't hang me. Don't hang me. I did not expect to have time in the day to catch. It was the latter half of the TONI and Billy Starks match. They cooked. I also seen the rap kind of back and forth, the Jada Kiss and Styles P kind of segment that Billie Starks had with Athena. I don't know if you guys could hear it in the tone of my voice. I had a very solid time watching this show. I think a couple of things that we should be getting to, we have to address firstly. There was a tragedy in the wrestling world today, unfortunately. As of July 24th, we lost a hero in the wrestling community. Little Jimmy was found shot 70 times in a Burger King. Yeah, and in a dispute with his crack dealer. It's really unfortunate. R-Truth hasn't said anything publicly, but I'll make sure I reach out to him and I get a direct message from Mr. Ron Killings, the GOAT himself. Nothing else really happened in the realm of news today. Our first match for AEW Dynamite is going to be Hangman Page versus Yuta Wheeler. This is going off of the Death Riders kind of rematch that we are getting with Hangman. That's going to be later on in the episode, but we can kind of just run through it right now. I made a very poignant comment that I did not want a rehashing of what we had with John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Essentially because the first time I viewed it, I did not have the level of joy I feel like you should have viewing something that big, that monumental on the stage of WrestleMania. And initially, I was telling myself, maybe I'm being a little too harsh. And I have to say, with the reintroduction of the Death Riders and for Hangman Page and the story, tying in the situation with Colt Cabana last week and him being hung by the Death Riders, I am excited for this match. But I came to an epiphany. I am excited for this match because I had fun watching the last match. The last match on, I believe it was All In, not All Out. It's not All Out. It was All In. I get those two mixed up. Excuse me for that one. You blame Tony Khan, right? I was telling myself, maybe I'm being too harsh, but I realized I didn't have fun watching John Cena and Cody Rhodes the first time. So for them to redo it, it's kind of like when a store clerk gives you the wrong change and they try to give you a free item at the store. Oh man, here, just take something. No, brother, no, you messed up on something very minimal, and the offer is appreciated, but the initial kind of motion of things were disturbed on your behalf, and now you're trying to rectify it. We shouldn't be getting Cody versus John Cena for a second time as a we'll do better next time. We should be getting it as a holy shit, they're gonna run this shit back. This shit should be fucking Mayweather. It should be like Mayweather and Pacquiao. This should be a heavyweight bout, but it's not going to be treated like that because they botched the booking. And essentially what I'm trying to get to, Hangman and Mox are putting on bangers, and if they can continue to put on bangers at the level that they're doing it, I couldn't imagine myself going, no, I don't want to see a rematch of that. I want to see a rematch with these guys because they're ballers and the story, it fits. They haven't botched anything so far as far as with this story. Hey, Mox is kind of on this redemption tour, but the Death Riders are literally just a pack of hyenas trying to figure out what they're going to do. It's a masterclass in storytelling, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it, and I can't say anything more about that. Hangman goes over, obviously. He beats Yuta to a bloody pulp, I think all within 5 minutes. Yuta Wheeler is an amazing wrestler, and he has been since the year 2017, when I think he first started coming into his own in New Japan in the Indies. It is a pleasure. It is a pleasure to watch him work with anybody in that ring. He reminds me a lot of Dominic Mysterio, where he is an amazing in-ring worker and he is a heel, but because he is so consistent and because he is so passionate with his art, it just shines through, and the crowd can't seem to ignore him. Whether they love or hate, they adore Yuta. Um, Hangman makes a call out. Basically, Hangman does like a Pusha T Exodus. If he's like, them niggas ain't dying for you. Ha 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 ha. Like he basically hits that on Yuta, and the Death Riders essentially don't come out while Yuta gets like yoked up in chains. It was pretty entertaining. It was pretty entertaining. Our next segment is going to be Jet Speed versus FTR. FTR is an amazing tag team. It's an amazing tag team. I wasn't on the bandwagon, but I'm here now. Like as heels, their heel work, some of the moves, and some of like the creativity that they can make up on the spot in the ring. Probably not on the spot, but no pun intended. It is just bar far none. Probably some of the best tag team work I've seen since the early iterations of New Day. It is very, very good. Very, very good. This match ends in a kind of DQ. It's not essentially like a DQ. It is how do I even put this? It's not a roll up. It's kind of a roll up. The pin escalates to, I forget the guy's name on the outside. FTR's manager, he's amazing, by the way. He's fucking kick ass as that whole like snarky like coach gimmick. It's amazing, right? He uses his crutch and kind of helps Dax, I believe, secure the pin. Technically on Jet Speed to capture the win, but more specifically on Kevin Knight. There's a backstage segment to match with this. Kevin Knight is really upset about the fact that he and Bailey can't seem to put away a victory. But I think sooner or later they're going to probably go over on the Hurt Syndicate. I see it coming. It's going to probably be a swerve from MJF. Look at me using fucking Vince Russo terminology. Oh man. Myself a year ago would be so disappointed in me. So disappointed in me, man. I've been infected with the IWC bug. So essentially, I think MJF is probably going to help Jet Speed secure a victory, taking away the titles, and maybe we'll get Bobby Lashley MJF program maybe sometime after. That'd be kind of interesting. I can't imagine where that's going to go. We are also going to acknowledge that Speed Bailey is one of the best wrestlers on the fucking world right now. Like, he is amazing. He's amazing. And I couldn't imagine a better fit for him than Kevin Knight and a tag team partner. Really solid match all around. Like, my notes literally have, like, this match fucks. It does. It fucks super hard. It's amazing. It's an amazing match. After that, Hurt Syndicate. It's funny, we just brought them up. The Hurt Syndicate are going to come out after FTR picks up the win. Edge comes down. Edge, having prior beef with FTR, has some words for them. And he essentially says, I can't put my hands on you, but I know some people who can. I know some people who hurt people. And Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin come down to the ring, and they put the ass whooping on FTR. Watching Hurt Syndicate work and them just being extremely over, just organically, just off the sweat of their own brow, and the genius of MVP and some of the producers in AEW, it's a pleasure to watch. The viewings that they shown in WWE and AEW share slight similarities, but there was a stark difference between Bobby Lashley in WWE and Bobby Lashley in AEW. Between what Shelton Benjamin is allowed to do in and outside of the ring in WWE and what he's allowed to do in and outside of the ring in WWE. It is just two completely different ball games. And I couldn't imagine looking at these guys and seeing anything less than the world champions. And that's why I expect, being that this segment, beating up on FTR and working with Edge, Cope, leads to the MJF issue. The MJF segment happened shortly after we cut from break, and essentially MJF, he comes backstage, he's like, hey, what's going on? How come you guys are working with Cope? He's like, he's dirtbag, he's this, he's that. And Bobby essentially yokes him up. He's like, hey, like, I want you out of the Hurt Syndicate. Like, I'm tired of you, essentially. And we are starting to see some cracks in the foundation. This faction is very over. I can't imagine when they are going to get around to breaking it up, but I can imagine it's going to be fairly soon. It is going to most likely be to put over Jet Speed. That is what I'm hoping for, because they deserve it. And if not Jet Speed, hell, give it to the Callis family. Do something with it. Do something. I know the Callis families are heels, but fuck it, man. But just do something if we're going to have them break up. I think that would be a solid disruption Maybe even have MJF go after MVP. I don't know. Mark my words. Maybe that one might happen. Next segment. Jon Moxley, he gives a passionate message backstage to not Jon Moxley. He gives a passionate message backstage to passionate. It's crazy. He gives a enraged message to Hangman Adam Page backstage, and this segment is just solid. It's good. It's good all around. He essentially says, "Hey, I ain't no bitch. I took a loss, but it is what it is." That kind of attitude is exactly why I will prefer a rematch between Hangman and Mox opposed to a rematch between Cody and John Cena, because it's obvious that that one is being put together simply because the first one was ass, because it was doo-doo. This second one, it has momentum, it has heat, it has a message. Mox needs his kingdom back. But the Cowboy isn't going to give that up so easily. And we're going to see how this will progress as the story goes along. No complaints at all. Next, I believe, is our William Ospreay segment. William Ospreay, it's a bit of a rant. He has been working on a broken neck for about 9 months. Tony Khan, you are arguably one of the most careless individuals in the wrestling industry right now. William Ospreay has been working like a dog. Like a dog. I want to say that this is on behalf of William Ospreay simply being a G, simply being a vet, simply being a fucking the idea of him even thinking about taking a break because he has an ache in his neck. It makes him sick to his stomach. I want to believe that, but he is such a high priority in that company. If he does not sit down the second he thinks something is funny, I have to question what the fuck is going on backstage, as to where somebody heard a whisper that the biggest money draw that you could be grabbing could possibly get out for the rest of his fucking life. Essentially, the rest of his life. That, like, he takes one wrong bump in that ring, and William Ospreay is out here long term. To carelessly book him how Tony has been booking him, I'm confused. A part of me makes me angry because I think back to Kenny Omega when he was dealing with his disc fertilitis and how he was working almost every single other week like a fucking nut job, putting his life on the line. I really do want to believe that that's what these wrestlers are trying to do. That's what these wrestlers are here to do. They're here to entertain, create moments, and solidify themselves as one of the best wrestlers of all time. I can't deny that, or I don't want to take that away from any of them ever, but it comes with a sense of self-responsibility. The day we have to wake up and hear William Ospreay can never wrestle again, I might cry. No Minecraft jokes this time. He is too important, not only to the sport, but to the spirit of this sport. How he treats it, how he thinks about the game. For him just to even feel an ache in his neck, he needs to sit down and heal immediately. To even book him in some of the situations that he has been booked in. I think in the last 10 months, he did a moonsault skydive off of a barrier, at least 20 feet. Well, is he Superman? Is he part Kryptonian? I want the best for William Ospreay. And William Ospreay, even partially being harmed, being injured, like God forbid, William Ospreay is on the road to something insanely monumental in this industry, and he gets hit with a Seth Rollins-esque injury. Imagine that. All because the creative couldn't say, "Hey, Will, we appreciate it, but sit down. We got somebody else." We got to pray that Forbidden Door is a smooth match. Everything after that, he is way too important to this sport, man. William Ospreay is way too fucking important to this sport. All right, our next segment is going to be Toni Storm versus Billie Starkz. This match was amazing. This match was nothing short of amazing. It didn't even have any of the some of the Toni haters will say, "Oh, she goes out there and she cuts a smut show. She cuts this, she cuts that." she is one of the best character workers and one of the most talented psychological workers in WWE, hands down. All respects to Luther. Luther is amazing. Anytime he's ringside, anytime he does anything, he goes viral. He's an amazing second hand to the identity of Toni Storm. In my notes, it says God's favorite wrestler. She is quite literally probably God's favorite wrestler. She never eats a pin. She is as beautiful as the day is long. She can wrestle her ass off. She's on top of the world. The internet loves her. The locker room seems to allow her to get over as many times as she does. She's not getting hit with the with the bullshit Hogan sells. You know what I mean? Like she is on top of the world. She is on top of the world. And I couldn't be more proud of Toni Storm. Athena, she comes out and she hits her in the back of the head with a clipboard. The contract that she won at All In. I really hope now, but it might be All Out. Oh, man. Toni Storm. Tony Khan. Pick one, man. I can't remember if it was All In or All Out. And I'm technically a journalist. I should know it, but we're going off top of the head, man. All right. I got to keep this thing going. All right. The day is burning. All right. And the day is long. All right. Toni Storm lies just kind of flailing as Athena, and Billie Starkz leaves the match. Also, Billie Starkz, baller. Billie Starkz is a hooper. Such a fucking hooper. We love Billie Starkz. Her and Zoe Starks. I don't know if they're related at all, but damn, man, are those two just deserving of a lot more. In the perfect world, Billie Starkz, my apologies, Zoe Starks is a champion. Zoe Starks is on top of the world, and in a perfect universe. And we're not in a perfect universe, unfortunately. Let me see. Next, we have Swerve versus Hachario. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Hachario is a little bit more heavyset than his graphic display. I thought he would be like a Slim Jim, like something kind of like a Dragon Lee build, but he's a luchador and he hoops. This match was fucking heat, man. It does end in DQ, and you guys know how I feel about those. Not my favorite ending to a match, but it did kind of escalate the story further when the Callis family was ran out by Brody Lee, and I believe it was I forget. I'm blanking on the other guy's name. But that's really what that was. It was pretty 1-2. After that, Kosei Okada, he comes in from like behind the apron or something like that with steel chair, whack Swerve. He attempts to hit him with a Rainmaker. Swerve hits him with a headbutt. Super clean in my opinion. Setting up our match at, I believe it is in the near future. I'm blinking on a lot of things right now. Apologies, guys. A lot of things on my plate. But their upcoming match at their next pay-per-view with Katsuki Okada and Swerve Strickland is going to be heat. Really simple premises. There's no botchy booking on any of these cards. Heel versus face. Most of these guys going over to clean the despicable heels or cheating. It is what it is. All right. Next, we are going to be moving on to, we have a segment, MJF. Yeah. Sorry about that. I'll try not to do that too much, make it a vocal stiff. But MJF essentially comes out and he says, hey, I don't need Bobby Lashley. I don't need anybody. I don't need the Hurt Syndicate because I'm the MJF and I'm on top of the fucking world and I'm God's favorite wrestler. And I'm rich and everybody loves me. And you know what? MJF is doing MJF things. He has awarded himself the luxury just from being a hooper and just being an absolute baller in the ring to go out there and just yap. And he yapped. And I'm not upset about it. Mark Briscoe came out. I fucking love Mark Briscoe. Rest in peace to Jay Briscoe. Mark Briscoe is one of the most over stars in AEW right now, and fuck does he deserve it. Him and Orange Cassidy are going to cook when they come back with the conglomeration. I'm so happy for them. Willow Nightingale also had a segment backstage where she called out Thika Rula. She looked amazing, by the way. She looked beautiful. Willow Nightingale, I'm a little worried for her, though. Because Thika Rula is in a team with 3 other scary women, and I feel like that's going to be an issue. Feel like it's going to be a bit of an issue. Maybe we're going to be women's tag titles. Women tag titles, Tony, maybe Tony Khan. Maybe, no. All right, I'll keep my thoughts to myself. After MJF made some pretty choice comments about Jay Briscoe, Shout out to Mark, by the way, for allowing those to fly backstage. Like, Mark's a real one for letting those work on live TV. Obviously, in all respect and all due memory of Jay Briscoe. Rest in peace. Mark Briscoe has a match with Claudio Castagnoli, and this match fucks. This match also fucks. It's a good fucking match, man. It's a good match. There's not any like running bullshit. I think Serena and oh my god, Serena is amazing. Serena's amazing. There's so many pieces of the Death Rider story I can't get enough of. There's a moment in Hangman and Mox's match at All In where Serena, she like literally she like deadlifts Mox up on his feet. And it is just like they work. And like you like arguably you wouldn't say this for all of the members of the Death Riders, but sometimes they work just like a family, and it's like wow. Like Serena is there and she's just like bullshitting, she's just like bad mouthing Mark, and then Claudio's just doing his thing. The finish specifically was a roll up. I don't have any big issues with that. Some people are gonna really like, poke the bear on roll ups. I could mind less about roll ups, man. The match was fucking heat. It was a good match. After the Death Riders, they start beating up on Mark, and Jon Moxley comes out. Jon Moxley's like, "Hey, you're a piece of shit." Like, "Hey, you're a piece of shit, Hangman. I hate you. You're not a cowboy. You're a bitch, and I hate you so fucking much." And it kind of shook me. Hangman came down to the ring, and he said, "Hey, so here's what we're going to do. Since you want to call me out, and I obviously have unfinished business with you with Colt Cabana, we're going to have a rematch. We're going to bar everybody from the ringside, and I'm going to kick your fucking ass, you stupid bald fraud." And then he just walked out. And I was left astounded because we're getting a rematch of something that we've already seen done properly, correct? Done properly. And hypothetically, this is going to be going up against NXT's biggest pay-per-view of the month instead of John Cena and Cody Rhodes in SummerSlam, because Paul Levesque is a fraud. The decision to counter program AEW with this kind of potential and this kind of story writing on the behest of not only you and your pockets, but TKO's pockets, Paul, Hunter, this shit is going to blow up in your face. I have no reason to be excited for Hangman versus Mox, but I know that the Death Riders are a pack of insane fucking hyenas. And the premise of Moxley accepting a match where he can have no help, no assistance at all, and it's just him and his wits, that is something that we can get next week for the AEW Championship on Dynamite. I don't even have to wait till fucking SummerSlam. Huh? I still don't have a creative name for it. I'm sorry, guys. I promise I'm going to get that up later. Right? SummerSlam is a fucking is a spit and a hop away. We're about 2 seconds away from SummerSlam. And these motherfuckers are trying to push every single match that they can for some of the biggest pops, for some of the biggest reasons, and none of it's really landing. Even some of the more niche matches that are probably going to be taking place, such as Dominic Mysterio and AJ Styles. What is that going to be? Dominic going over, probably a banger match. Probably going to be a banger match. Where's AJ going to go after this, though? AJ's in his latter half of his career. Why isn't he getting a retirement run? Why isn't he in a baller tag team where they're just going out there putting fucking amazing matches out? Why isn't he leading a faction? Where are the pieces happening with any of these stories? I'm invested in Jet Speed. I'm invested in Hurt Syndicate. I'm invested in Cope and FTR. I'm invested in Tony Storm. I'm invested in Mercedes Moné when she's going to have her situation on Collision sometime later this week. These are all positives, and I can't sit here and acknowledge them because they hypothetically aren't WWE. That's not the world we live in. That's not the world we live in. I was fairly entertained. I thought it was going to be ass. I thought this was. Listen. The second Tony Khan does something wrong, all right, you guys are going to hear it from me. Small thing I kind of skipped over. Darby Allin was in the crowd during Claudio Castagnoli and Mark Briscoe's match. We could have a conversation about Darby Allin and the backstage politics of wrestling later. But Darby Allin, he looked like a badass, aura farming in the crowd. He's extremely over. Gave Sting. I don't know what you guys want me to do. It was dope. It was very cool. I think that was everything for Dynamite AEW. July 23rd, 2025. It was a banger. It was a banger, and I was left fairly entertained. Fairly entertained. We will be doing a Fantastic Four review very soon on the channel, so make sure you stay in tune for that. And I'll make sure to try to get to Collision and Friday Night SmackDown for the reviews for the rest of the week. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day or night whenever you're catching this, and stay beautiful. Stay tuned. Peace, y'all.